Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is well. Got a story that I want to share with you, something that happened to me personally this week. And I just want to keep it on your radar so that you will be aware of what is dropping down on us. So, uh, Wednesday, I took my kids to a water park in Greenville. And um, excuse if y'all hear the noise, somebody's cutting the grass, so it's kind of loud. So, the water park is like out in a rural area. It's like in the middle of no place. And it's about an hour away from where I live. So I took my grandkids to the water park. We get there probably about 11:30. Sky was perfectly blue, clear, no clouds all day long. Well, I won't say all day long. The entire ride up. So as I get to the water park, we get out. Kids get in the water, and I get my spot under a one of the covered areas where the lounge chairs were. And so get myself situated, take out my books, take out my tablet, and lay back. And as I lay back, I start seeing clouds over my head, but not like ordinary, like real clouds. These clouds were like cotton candy fluff, and they were just peeling away as the uh, wind blew them, like they were blowing westward. So I just started paying attention to how fast the clouds were dissolving, and then I noticed these really aren't clouds. But then I began to notice how low they were and how close they were to like the ground, like it was just not normal. So I just, got up and I started looking, and then I saw the chemtrail not far away. So I started taking pictures, and then I started seeing the planes that were driving back and forth across the across the sky. And so it's like they had a strategic way they were flying and emitting the trail so that it would flow over top the um, water park. Now, the water park is full of kids, more kids than adults, because at this water park, when we got there, it wasn't a whole lot of kids, but throughout the day, camps were coming. So it was probably hundreds of kids, throughout the day at this park with adults. And all day long, you could see these planes intentionally spraying over us. And at one point, there was this long line of spray, and it was long. It was so long, but you could tell the way that it was dissipating in the air that it had been sprayed someplace else and it was floating to where it would come apart over us. And you could literally see it dissolve. It's like if you put a blow dryer on cotton candy or something, and you could just see it just kind of dissolve, but turn into, well, with cotton candy, it's going to turn into something because it's actually sugar. But, I can't explain. I guess like fog, how if you just have a fog and if you do something to just kind of make it disappear, like that's what was happening to it. But at one point, the stuff was falling on us, and you could tell like people were coughing and sneezing. I was sneezing, and then all of a sudden my throat started hurting. So I was like, oh, I got to do a metal detox when I go home. So I've been taking stuff to get metals out and whatever else is in my system for the past 2 days. But like, we are being sprayed with something. And I was shocked that nobody else saw it. I just kept getting up, taking videos and pictures. But I was like, everybody else is just oblivious. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like an alien sometimes because no matter where I am, I see things. And it's like once you wake up out of the matrix, you can't unsee stuff. You can't stop seeing things. And I was hurt. I got up and I just walked around and I prayed for all the children and the parents and all the people who weren't paying attention. I was like, let no weapon formed against these poor babies prosper. Let no weapon that they do, nothing that they do prosper. Um, and, the fact that they were spraying this stuff over water means it's going to be in the water for a long time. Kids going to be inhaling it. We're going to be inhaling it because we were sitting there. If you're not covered, it's on your skin. Fortunately, I was sitting underneath a cover, but if I wasn't and I wasn't paying attention, I would have been, I would have had whatever they were spraying on my skin. If I was in the water, I could be inhaling it because you know how kids are. You go under the water and you're playing, but if you're in the water, just floating like in the little floating river, it's on your skin. And so I was like, what are they spraying on us? And then the Most High said, girl, I'm getting ready to tell you. So JWTV did a story yesterday about the exact same thing that I'm talking about. So not only do we have to worry about the mRNA, the mRNA in food, in lollipops, in vegetables, now they got a campaign where they are spraying it on us out in the atmosphere. And I don't know if you've been reading, I don't know how true this is, so don't quote me, but I saw in key states, certain states, people are starting to get sick with the virus again. The virus has got people sick in the hospital. So we need to be careful when we are outside. You need to make sure you're covered. Um, I hate to tell folks they need to put on a face mask when you're outside. Um, but wash your hair frequently or put on caps. We got to do a better job of protecting our skin because it's one big open pore and our airways, our respiratory system, because whatever they're putting on us, it is definitely having an impact on our bodies, and it could be impacting the kids. My grandkids were sick the other day. Two of them couldn't go to the water park because they had been outside playing, and we don't know what they're spraying, but the stuff is raining down on us and it's invisible, but we don't know what we're coming in contact with. So let me play this video for you and let JWTV explain to you what is actually happening and what we need to be looking out for.
You know what I'm saying? Like they got the bird flu dance about to happen.
I don't
And
want to talk about
we got the
that.
information here about just multiple line scenarios that people are not looking at. We want to go into each detail so you can know exactly what's going on.
I'm gonna go to this.
Prepare yourself.
I'm
Bird
gonna
flu,
skip that.
to that really quick and then look at what we've seen with this biologist on his slide, and we got to go deeper into this, but check this out.
In his new article, newly developed airborne vaccines can be used to disseminate mRNA widely and rapidly without relying on injection.
Looking into this because we started hearing reports from colleagues that something had changed in the storage facilities on board, and they weren't signing hazardous goods forms anymore. In the US, the military is spraying mRNA. From what we understand, mRNA is being sprayed in remote areas in cities where vaccine uptake is lagging. In Europe, we hear
So in a lot of places in the South, people are like, no, we ain't taking it, we ain't taking it, we ain't taking it during um, COVID back in 2020, 2021, a lot of people would not take it. And a lot of people in southern states refused to take it. So this explains why we're being inundated, why they're spraying the heck out of us all the time, day and night, 24 hours, 7 days a week. So, like, it's almost at a point where you can't win. If you don't go outside, you don't get sunshine, You can't get the vitamins you need for your immune system. If you're walking around barefoot, trying to ground, you're coming in contact with whatever this stuff is that they're spraying on us, that's falling to the earth. If you're breathing, because you got to breathe, you're breathing in this stuff through your nose and your mouth. And so we are like literally under attack. So it explains why everybody is having issues excuse me, with mucus, which, as you can hear, um I'm just on this is just like constant. We have excess mucus, our body's trying to get it out. We're having just all types of respiratory issues. People are going to the doctor, getting medication. The medication got the mRNA in it, the nanotech. So no matter what we try to do, no matter what we try to do to, you know, stay healthy, they have a way to make us sick. And that's why everybody is wet. That's why everybody is just acting crazy. Like, people are like really acting strange. But we gotta make sure we are detoxing ourselves frequently, so that whenever they unleash whatever, we're able to fight it off, because it's just inevitable at this point.
Hear that it's a combination of military and commercial planes. Many of these guys don't understand what they're doing.
Tests in Europe using mass spectrometry to analyse the residue that settles on cars and windows during periods of heavy chemtrail pollution. The results from Europe are disturbing, to say the least.
It's important to understand how toxic this stuff is. We're talking about graphene oxide, aluminum oxide, barium, and mRNA. These are some of the most toxic metals in the universe.
But look into the next part. Like, the thing is, it was a slide that the dude put out. His name was Micro Addict, and he's a biologist, right? And in the rainfall, they already have been talking about how they was gonna like put these xeno-looking bots, these artificial cells and stuff like that, inside the rainfall. Oh yeah, breaking also. 700, almost $1 million just got put into the bird flu vaccine that just came out today. 749,999 in Massachusetts. They looking for an RNA based vax. Remember what we said? We was talking about how I used dandelion tincture, because in reports online it said in documents that it helps clean out the RNA. Very important there. Moving into the next thing. The Rainfall Tech Bird Flu Summit, this is what they're talking about. So if they're saying this, they potentially might have a plan to drop this stuff in the rain as well. If they're already doing I can't even say it. If they're already doing mRNA in the atmosphere, then they can all basically integrated plan together. But this thing that we've seen on the slide, I want to go deeper into this right now, because I wasn't really understanding this when I talked about it the first time, but now I think I'm understanding it a little bit better. And by 2030, they want us to be biological robots, remember. So they've been putting these things in the atmosphere. They've been putting different cells out there. But check this out really quick. When he shows a cell around the outside of this, you see this right here on the screen is a circular thing around this cell. So he says later in the video that it looks like some type of frog shell. Why is that important in the rainfall? That was rainfall slide he looked at. He said he'd never seen that before. It looked like that. And when we looked at the xenobots, tell me if you right now looking at this and you think like, whoa, wait a minute. This kind of looks like, that thing kind of looks like a xenobot.
So this is interesting. So he did do a video about the xenobot. So if you watch his video through its entirety, I'm not gonna play his whole video, but he'll have links to the other videos that he did about the xenobots. Um, it's very interesting, because if I don't know if you remember some years ago when this researcher from I don't know if he worked for Monsanto or he did a study on the pesticides that were produced by Monsanto, but something that they were spraying on pesticides, I think it was used for something that we ate, like farmers used it, and it was proven to turn frogs into change the genders of the frogs. Um, and so it changed the gender of the female frogs to males and the males to females. Basically, it was transhumanism, early transhumanism. So it was discovered by African American um, researcher or scientist, and somehow he was silenced, and you don't even see anything about that study anymore. They talk about it in the holistic communities, but not um, the holistic medicine and organic food communities, but nowhere else. You don't hear it anywhere discussed in like mainstream media or on YouTube or anything. But I just remember it, and then I started thinking about why we have this issue where so many girls look like boys and want to be boys, and so many boys are so feminine and want to be girls, especially in our community, because y'all know they try everything out on us. They give us toxic food. They'll put that stuff in our communities. They'll, spray the public housing project grass with it. Um, Put it in the water. They'll, serve the food at the schools that was treated with this stuff. So they always have a way to experiment on our community. And that's why I don't think it's an accident that, what you're seeing, these xenobots, um, the synthetic stuff that is in our body, that our body is trying to process or break down. Like our bodies are literally fighting to survive this world. It's like by the time it's over, we're gonna be glad to be gone away from here, one way or the other, because we're getting ready to go into a period of suffering. Like you can't. Um, I don't think our bodies are going to be able to sustain this bombardment of constant um, terrorizing, because that's basically what it is. It's an unnatural way of killing us off, or turning us into whatever it is that they want us to turn into so that they can control us. But this story is very interesting, because if this is what they're spraying, think of, they're spraying the stuff on kids. So that means as the kids grow, they're going to change. As they reproduce, they're going to produce something that's very different from what they are, because it's our DNA is literally changing as we speak, and that's the goal.
And Xenobot is a hybrid between, you know, a robot and an actual biological living cell. And to me, they already was dropping this in the rainfall and stuff like that. And we looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, are they actually trying to do this? Because they keep telling us. And I was saying, like, as a society, if we want to move forward and actually protect and defend against this, we need to start talking about how do we detect biological cells in our environment, these cells. And check it out. This is H2O resistant, pH resistant, antibiotics resistant. And this is a cell that's in the environment already, and these cells are basically um, they're biological machines. And they had this show on Netflix, as a matter of fact, where it was about some rain. I think the show, as a matter of fact, was called The Rain. Yeah, it was called The Rain. And if they go into a summit and start talking about this, and their next big objective is obviously engineering chickens, which they already are doing, and they're gonna try to get us to eat some mutated chickens. But another breaking scenario that just happened today. This is in Michigan.
So this is why you're gonna have to stop eating meat. And so we talked about this about 2 years ago, when I first started doing more channels, and I think they took the video down, but I found a way to get around it. So I'll try to attach that video to the end of this video. But you are going to have to pay attention to every single thing. You're gonna have to detox your bodies. Um, JWTV has some tips at the end of this video, and he has another video where he provided some insight on things that you need that are natural to detox your body regularly. You're not going to be able to just do it, 2 or 3 times per year. It's going to have to be a regular part of your regimen for, self health care. And I'm going to call it survival medicine, because that's exactly what it is. It's survival medicine. You're going to have to learn how to eat your medicine. You're going to have to grow your own herb garden. You're going to have to do a whole lot of things that we have not we haven't had to do because we've relied on this system, but the system is no longer going to be working for us. We are right now held hostage by it. So, like I told y'all a couple of years ago, you need to really be fasting and praying. You need to practice intermittent fasting. You need to really limit how much you eat now. If you can try to eat 1 meal a day and drink some herbal teas and other things to supplement in between, I strongly recommend that. If you can go to your local farms and get, things to make broth, like different types of meat that's not treated with mRNA vaccines, whether it's poultry, beef, goats. Um, we need to really change our diet anyway, and not eat so much flesh. But I strongly recommend getting away from eating beef and poultry from the grocery stores, because even if it comes from organic places like Whole Foods, because they've been found. I've said this a long time ago. I used to read the labels in Whole Foods, and I was like, ain't nothing organic about this stuff. It's got just as much chemicals as the stuff in the grocery store. So a lot of the stuff that they sell is not good. They sell a lot of farm raised seafood, which is not good for you. It's not wild caught, and their stuff is cheap. They sell it as organic, but you don't know what the food has been fed before you eat it. You don't know what types of lollipops the food consumed before it comes to your table. So when we eat this stuff, our bodies are like storing all types of stuff. So, you know, we gotta get ourselves together. We gotta walk, we gotta exercise. And I don't, I just don't know what we're gonna do. You can't stay in the house. We gotta go outside, but it just seems like they're making it where we can't go outside without being concerned about being poisoned. So everywhere we go, we're being poisoned. So it doesn't matter. All the people, I didn't get the lollipop. It don't matter. You already got the lollipop. If you're breathing, it's in the air. If you live in a state where people didn't get it, guess what? They're spraying you even more than other states who had the right amount of death juice. So you are already likely um, infected with the thing. We're going to have to pray to the Most High to deliver us from this place quickly, because if not, it really is only going to be a remnant of us saved. I mean, just think about all those poor babies. It probably was 1,000 kids out there at that water park, including my grandkids. And we all was poisoned. We didn't ask to be sprayed. And I mean the whole entire time we were there, they were spraying. Clouds continued to come over that pool and dissolve that water park. And I could see planes clear. They were low, they wasn't hiding. And I could tell the difference between the planes that were spraying and the planes that were coming from the airport. Clear difference. They sounded different. These other planes that spraying this stuff, you can't even hardly hear them. They're so quiet. You can see the lines coming from them, but you can't hear them. And sometimes they're a little higher, or uh, at a little higher altitude than just your regular, 747 or your commercial airplane. So I just don't know how to, I don't know what we're supposed to do. All we can do is pray. We can't be fearful, but just know that your body is going to react to all this stuff that is in it. And you can't just worry about yourself. You got to worry about your children and your grandchildren, your great grandchildren, because they're being poisoned. They go outside to play, they're sprayed, they're being sprayed. Imagine what's going to happen when they go back to school. Everybody going to be sick. They're going to come home and make everybody sick. So we gotta have a plan. We gotta have a regimen. We gotta have routines on, and we gotta start getting our immune systems built up and get this stuff out of us now. Because whatever they're getting ready to come out with is probably gonna be real bad. But I'm praying that it don't work on Yahuwah's people, baby. But we have to still be aware of the adversary's devices and try to navigate them. So that's why I'm talking about it. Anyway, I just want to share that story with you. I'm going to end the video, but I will put a link to JWTV's original video so you can watch it in its entirety. And I will also put a link to the story about the mRNA in the chicken that they were talking about some time ago that was originally banned, but now we can talk about it. So again, get all this information while you can, because the interwebs is going down. The internet has been going out. The ATM's not working. All kinds of stuff not working because we're talking about this stuff. People are finding out what's going on. People are paying attention, and they thought they were going to be able to do it under the radar. But, people are working together despite all of the obstacles and getting the word out. So it's very important that you watch these videos. It's also very important that you read comments because a lot of people are talking about what's going on in the world, and they're just average people just talking about what they see. That's the best news you can get. So I love reading comments. I like to read anyway, but I love reading comments and paying attention to what's going on and connecting it to my reality. So we have to stay grounded in reality and truth. We cannot be distracted. We cannot act like nothing is going on, and we cannot sit around and think that you know uh, things are going to just work out for our good. Something, you got to also do something. You don't always have to do something, because I do believe that the Most High is going to protect his chosen people and his elect. But we got to really work on getting our bodies together. Our temples are in trouble. And I ain't talking about the church temples. I'm talking about us. Our temples are in trouble. And in order for us to be able to fight the good fight, we got to be healthy. We got to be healthy mentally and physically. So get both in order. Get your houses in order. Get your physical house and your mental and emotional house in order. All right. This is